Veronica Clark, let's cut to the chase. There's a new soft landing-ish out there. What do they get wrong? What is the singular distinction which allows you not to join the club?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the labor market, and the data that we might see for the next, really for the rest of this year could look like a soft landing. We will probably get still some strong activity data. Inflation, especially by CPI, could look like it's slowing. But unless we get more loosening in the labor market, it's hard for us to see that inflation, durably, sustainably comes back to 2%.
What is the employment data that matters, and do we have to wait for the first Friday or whatever of August to get a recalibration here of which way this landing goes?
Yeah, it ultimately comes down to what wage growth does, really. But all the employment data is going to matter, of course. And when we have a very low unemployment rate and we're still adding, over 100,000, well over 100,000 jobs, that's still putting, downward pressure on the unemployment rate. That should mean that there's still that upward pressure on wages. And we'll be watching, the ECI that we're going to get next week. The Atlanta Fed has a wage tracker that is also still showing wage growth that's too strong to be consistent with 2% inflation.
Some people are saying that the reason why inflation is coming down so quickly is just because the year-over-year comparison numbers are so easy to beat. Can you give us a sense of which aspects of the inflation read could potentially regroup and reaccelerate in the next 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely part of it, especially when we're looking at headline inflation and energy prices that have come down a lot. We will still see, falling used car prices probably in the next couple months. And of course, that's been a really strong component of inflation, and that will look a lot better. But components that we're focused on are still those, core non-shelter services, shelter, which should continue to slow also. But even something like that is where we could see some reacceleration. We've already seen this rebound in housing activity. So we might see some of that upside later in this year and maybe early next year.